So when you were structuring the screenplay, did you want to focus on more the dramatic storyline and let the comedy come from that, or did you think comedy first?
For the structure, drama. I was thinking very kind of classic melodrama, TV movie, which those things are actually quite Greek.
Yeah.
Tragedy befalls those people, and so it was structured like a drama. When I started writing the dialogue, that's when the comedy was coming out. And then once I got about 6 pages in, it to me became a total went back to being a drama, and I was like and I knew that it had these comic overtones, but I was like totally swept up into it, and I was very moved by it.
So then from the directing standpoint with your cast, it must have been easier for you than directing the comedy aspect, knowing that you had the dramatic backbone.
Yes, totally. And everyone, it was so sweet. Everyone, I didn't have to say anything. Like I thought I would have to really explain the tone because it's a very tricky tone. But everyone just showed up and totally emotionally committed. They just went for it. And I always thought I had to be like, can you make it more real? But everyone just did it. It was amazing.
Was there any scene that was most particularly to get right for you from your script phase of the directing? Like, oh my God, this is the one that took a while, but I'm proud of it.
Everything went so fast. I mean, there was on a kind of directorial performance level, I think there's like a big therapy scene in the style of Marnie or Suddenly Last Summer that I was, that was a very tricky balance of like melodrama, kind of camp and sincerity, and that was a very, very tricky thing to direct while doing it.
Yes.
Very hard to direct the other actors while you're trying to also act it.
Was that something difficult where some scenes you had to like have two different brains going at the same time?
Yes, always. But I'm used to that, I make a lot of my own work and I edit myself a lot, and so I kind of am good at the Sybil,
So that was in your film school?
What?
That was your film school, preparing for
Exactly.
made you ready to do this kind of film.
Exactly. Doing like sketch comedy and that's where I've learned how to direct myself.
All right, so then what was it about the screenplay that initially attracted you to be part of the project as a producer and actor?
I thought it was really funny. I thought it was really, really funny, and I read a lot of independent scripts, and a lot of them are dramas, and I prefer comedy, and this was a comedy, and it was a good comedy, and so I think that's what really drew me to it.
A good comedy is a good drama at its heart, because without the dramatic storyline, the comedy will fall flat.
Yes.
How do you feel about the balance between the dramatic elements of the very serious issue, but balancing it with the comedy?
I think that's the way to do it. I think that's the most effective way to have difficult conversations is through humor. I think that's also part of what drew me to it, was that there were a lot of scenes that were very relatable, but also very funny.
When you originally first read the screenplay, what was it about it that emotionally grabbed you?
I think that I would trust John implicitly with anything that he's doing, and I think that the campiness of it, but also sort of the earnestness of it really made me want to do it.
Now, do you think, the great dramatic backbone of your character helped you kind of have fun with the comedy?
Yes, I think so. John really wanted me to play it kind of earnestly and real, and that was really fun, and honestly, any opportunity to do a scene with John is such a dream because he's so great and so talented and so funny, and so there was like a freedom in being able to just play it very kind of grounded.
But also, you're exploring a very serious topic,
yes.
which I loved about the film. What was the process of kind of diving deep into a very dramatic topic like this?
Yes. What was it like?
What was it like for you? Yeah.
It was, it was great. I mean, I enjoy doing drama as much as, comedy comes to me a little easier, but I like doing a dramatic thing, and it's nice to sort of be in that world where you're like, trying to tackle something that's more serious.
But even in sketch comedy, you have to find the dramatic nugget quickly.
Not always.
Not always?
Sometimes you do.
Sometimes you do. And was there any scene that you most particularly want the audience to kind of watch and for? It's like, I'm really proud of this scene or something in this moment.
I think any of the scenes that are just kind of me and John in our room, I cherish getting to do those with him. They were so much fun.
Was there some improv, I assume, in those scenes, or was the script kind of tight?
I think there was maybe a little bit of improv, but I think he was running that. It was like a machine. We were like really having a lot to film in each day, and so he was such a great director and so on top of things that I think there was some room for improv, but more sticking to his brilliant words, at least in my scenes.